Nigeria, by extension Africa, battles a growing youthful population and with little or no meaningful engagement leaves a ticking time bomb on our hands. We are a blessed continent with great wealth, both in people and material. Our focus on ways remains driving conversations that affects us all. Topics in the news, social concerns, politics, leadership, governance, empowerment, resource management, conflict management, finance, SME sustainability, technological innovation, food security, health, education, brain drain, our well-being, citizenship, and much more. Our goal is to continuously drive these conversations, keep them burning at the table to effect a positive change, both for our nation and continent. Ways, what are you saying, has a secret ingredient that completes the conversation every single episode, and that ingredient is you. Our past conversations shaped our yesterday. To shape our tomorrow, we must keep talking. So, I want to hear you. Be a part of our live conversations Mondays through Fridays. And let's all have our say.
Tonight, we turn our focus to a deeply troubling and urgent matter: the rising tide of insecurity across Nigeria and the desperate quest for safety by ordinary citizens. In just the past months, the country has witnessed an alarming escalation in violent incidents across multiple regions. Now in Benue State, more than 150 people were killed in a string of coordinated attacks on farming communities. In Borno State, a female suicide bomber detonated at a crowded market, killing at least 12 people, just days after a similar attack killed 10 in a nearby restaurant. While in Zamfara State, a military airstrike intended for a terrorist strategically ended up killing more than 20 civilians. Meanwhile, in Plateau State, a mob lynched on passenger, leading to the death of about 12 and a nationwide outrage. And today, the Nigerian Army High Command has confirmed the killing of 17 soldiers in a deadly attack by terrorists in Niger State. So the big questions for tonight are: why is insecurity resurging despite years of military operation and government policies? Are state and federal authorities overwhelmed or under-equipped? And what must be done practically to urgently restore faith in public safety? Well, it's another episode on your favorite primetime show, Ways. My name is Mercy Ebokbo. Today, we're addressing the issue of the increased insecurity issues and the demand for self-defense, because with all that's going on, a lot of people in some quarters are saying people need to, probably take up arms, defend themselves. But that's a conversation that we'll delve into after now. Now, remember, the Ways is all about you. You are the why in the way. So join the conversation today and add your voice. All you need to do is head over to our YouTube channel at Official Upgrade TV and hit the subscribe button. Like, share, and invite your friends to join the show now. I'd like to hear your thoughts on this particular topic when I open up the phone lines. As always, I'd like to leave you to ponder on my quote for today. Our administration pledged to tackle economic instability, improve security nationwide, reduce corruption, reform governance, and lift our people out of poverty. That's according to President Bola Ahmed Tinubu, the President of the Federal Republic of Nigeria. Well, we'll delve into this much later, but first off, I would take a quick break, and when I return, I'll tell you what I found in the news. Please stay with me.
Tell us you're a Nigerian without saying a word. Energy security is one of the most pressing issues for many developing countries like Nigeria. And if there's going to be any meaningful progress, addressing our energy issues is non-negotiable.
I need to see light for my house. Make them do something.
Band A is expensive. I literally have to turn off all my appliances just to reduce costs.
We need light.
Introducing the Energy Outlook, your go-to show for everything energy. Every week, we'll bring you the latest insights, innovation, and in-depth analysis of Nigeria's energy sector. From policy discussions to regulatory insights, we'll analyze the key decisions influencing growth and sustainability in the energy sector. We'll bring you the human stories behind the headlines, giving you a personal perspective on the broader energy challenges. Join me every Friday at 6 p.m. for the Energy Outlook, your guide to the future of energy, where energy means business.
You're still watching Ways, hashtag what are you saying? And many thanks for staying tuned and tuning in at this point in time. Let's bring you up to speed with what I found in the news today. Well, the Adamawa state government has formally revoked the prestigious traditional title of Waziri Adamawa, which was previously held by former Vice President of the Federal Republic of Nigeria, Atiku Abubakar. Now, this move comes as part of a new indigenous-ship policy, which was introduced under the governor of, he goes by the name Umar Fintiri's administration, aimed at restructuring traditional institutions and ensuring that only indigents from designated districts can hold leadership position within the Adamawa Emirate Council. This particular move has generated a lot of conversation and reaction. Now, political observers and pundits are saying that the development could actually carry a broader political implication ahead of the future elections. We're talking about 2027. Given the Atiku's status as a major figure in the Nigerian politics is something, to write home about. However, fingers crossed, let's see how all of this pans out. Away from that, a former presidential candidate, Peter Obi, has raised an alarm over what he calls an illegal demolition. Let's quickly, check out this one now.
Good.
Thank you. Thank you very much. Yeah?
Okay, sir. Thank you. Just go.
Just yesterday, just on Sunday, I came back from the US. And my younger brother told me that the agency wants to see me. And I saw him yesterday on my way to Abuja. He said to me that the land, the company land, Nest Food Limited, the land they own for over 10 years, probably over 15 years, belonging to them, that some people just jumped into it and said they're the owner, that they have cut injunction, and that they're about to start demolishing it. I said, okay, we'll go to court. That they won't demolish it without having proper documentation and everything. But yesterday evening, he called me, said they've removed the roof. They brought 3 tractors, they're demolishing everything as fast as they can. And I said, no. I'll leave Abuja this morning. Let me go there personally. He said all effort for them to enter there, they've been refused even enter. And they've chased out the people who are living there. So there's nothing they can do. That's how I came from Abuja. We first flight this morning from Abuja, drove to this place, asked the people who authorized it to demolish. They said they have cut injunction that the owner gave them. I said, who is the owner? They said they don't know the owner. He just gave them. I said, who is the owner? They said they don't know the owner. Can I see the cut injunction and see who the owner is, the person who is now claiming is sued? They gave me the cut injunction. The cut injunction explicitly said unknown person. How can you sue an unknown person? I said the land belongs to you. A land with property. And within yesterday and today, you demolish the property. Look at it. They've removed the roof, they removed everything. Okay, give me your proper documentation demolition orders, because even if you want to demolish a house, you go to the state, they give you order to demolish, give you appropriate documentation, bring safety people and them, so that we know we're doing what is now. It's only while I'm here now that some people came and said they are safety order. What kind of country is this? How did you descend to this level of rascality? How can you show a known person enter somebody's land and everything? I've been here for 4 hours. I've not seen one person who comes and say, I'm the owner. 3 people or 2 or 3 people have appeared. Are you the owner? No, I'm not. But I'm acting on behalf. I said, so who is the owner? No name. They've not called the name. I said, but you know my name. I'm Peter Obi. I want to know the next person, so I can even approach him and say, please, this land belongs to a company that my brother is the majority shareholder. The country can't go on like this. We're looking for foreign investors. We're looking for investors. But look at how local investors are being treated. Is that how a country can?
Well, that's a former presidential candidate, Peter Obi of the Labour Party, who is seen raising an alarm, and he's called an illegal demolition. What's happened there of property belonging to his younger brother's company for over 15 years was just torn down without a proper legal order. Now, some quotas are saying that this is actually politically motivated. And trust the system. There's been a lot of, tribal comments and what have you, if you look at the social media space. It's quite unfortunate, not necessarily because this has happened. However, we hope that the relevant quotas would swing into action, because it would also be another way to prove whether this is actually politically motivated or is a religious, I beg your pardon, is a tribal move. The best thing that will happen is let's have the relevant bodies, let's have the relevant authorities swing into action, investigate, and find out what exactly has happened, and all of the concerns that Peter Obi has raised, not necessarily because, he's the one, but, for the sake of the unity of our country and the people. Well, that's the much that we can take at this point in time for our stories in the news. I hope that that also caught your attention as well. I'll take a quick break, and when I return, on the other side, we'll just be talking about the crux of the matter, looking at the insecurity issues in our country. Please stay with us.
Life is made up of moments, some that fill us with joy, others that test our strength. Welcome to Heartlines. This is our space to explore the highs and lows of human connection, the love, the heartbreak, and resilience that shapes our life. From relationships to friendships, parenting to partnerships, and so much more. Every week, we share stories and conversations that define us, navigating love, separations, the struggles of parenting, dealing with anxiety and managing the pressures and stress of life. Real conversations that bring us closer, helping us heal, grow, and connect. So join me Mondays through Fridays at 10 p.m. for Heartlines, the show where we connect hearts, have real conversations with real people, one story at a time.
Well, many thanks for staying with us. You're still watching Ways, #What Are You Saying? And tonight we're concerned about the spate, or you want to say the rate at which insecurity has become, increased. Insecurity has become one of the most urgent challenges confronting Nigeria today, threatening not just individual lives, but the fabric of our society. I remember way back in the days when it was very comfortable for people to take road trips and just go to wherever it is that they want to go to now. But That's a very, it's luxury to say you want to go by road for the fear of being kidnapped or banditry attacks. Now, from armed robbery and kidnapping to banditry, terrorism, the growing wave of violence has left many citizens very fearful and frustrated. But I'm also, particular about our Constitution because we're governed by our laws in our country. And the Constitution is what, charts the course for us as a people. Now, according to Section 14, subsection 2, or Section 2, B of the 1999 Constitution as amended, the security and welfare of the people shall be the primary purpose of government. Well, the reality on ground paints a troubling picture. And we just want to understand all of this and hope that, with this conversation, we can also proffer a solution. And maybe the relevant quarters, because it's one thing to have this conversation, it's also another thing to have the implementation and to have those who are saddled with the responsibility of maintaining law and order, moving to action. Now, joining us to shed more light on this issue is someone who has been at the heart of Nigeria's intelligence architecture, Dennis Amachree. He is a former director with the Department of State Services, that's a DSS, and is also a security consultant. Dennis, it's good to have you join me tonight.
Good evening. Thank you for having me.
All right, thank you so much. I'd like to start off first with, that part of the Constitution that I read out, Section 14. It shall be the primary purpose. I'd like to go back to it again and read it as it is, that security and welfare of the people shall be the primary purpose of government. What do you make of this with the current reality of Nigeria?
Thank you very much for having me. You see, that section you read is actually the crux of the Constitution and, of course, of the country. That is supposed to be the ground norm. And that particular section is the most important of other sections. So if we have a government, the primary responsibility is the safety and security of the citizens of the country. But I think the operators of the Constitution, or should I say the politicians, are shaking away their responsibility in doing that, or they just mouth it. Because how can you forget the security of the people and then you are busy buying bulletproof cars for yourself? You are busy thinking of foreign trips. You are busy thinking of large salaries for yourself, and of course, no employment, poverty is very rife, and then of course we have insurgency. So you find out that that particular section of the Constitution that you mentioned is the foundation, and we would want anybody in government to first look at that before they look at other things, because many people don't know why they are in government. Many people believe that to be in government is just a popularity show, or it's how to make money for themselves. But government or governance is a selfless service for the citizens of that country.
So I'd like to ask you, what exactly do you think that we're dealing with here? If you look at the spate of which the killings, the insecurity across different parts of the country, is it lack of intelligence or coordination? What exactly do you think is responsible for what is happening? Over a couple of days, we've seen the attacks that's going on in Benue State. We've seen several suicide bombers donating. I mean, it's like there's a resurging insecurity. And the question is, despite the years of military operation, government policies, including, the police, because again, we know that the police is responsible for maintaining law and order, and we have 36 states. So when all of these things happen, the killings in Benue, you see all of these things, you begin to ask yourself, where exactly is the police? So what are we dealing with now? Is it that we no longer have security officers? We no longer have, is it the lack of intelligence? What exactly are we dealing with?
Okay, we have, we are dealing with a situation that is broken. It's broken in the sense that, you know, the security agencies are doing their best, but the citizens are not involved, you know, and believe it or not, many Nigerians don't know that Nigeria is at war. You know, it is not a situation where when we get to what is happening in Ukraine or what is happening in Iran and Israel, that will say, oh, there is a war going on. Right now in Nigeria, we've been under serious war for a very long time. And then we have to realize that. And in a war situation, everybody's hands must be on deck. We all have to partake because the security agencies by themselves are inadequate, you know, they are ill-equipped, you know, because when you look at the police, which is, like you said, the primary law enforcement agency in the country, for a country that is about 230 million, we don't have up to 500 policemen. We don't. And then we have 774 local governments. If you go to any of the local governments, you are going to have maybe 2 or 3 policemen. Or sometimes you don't have. There's no, the DPO is somewhere else, maybe in the capital or, you know, the offices. You will find it very, very difficult to get a policeman in a local government area. So what are we doing? We are thinly spread. We are not able to, you know, police the country very well. Suggestions have come for state police. And of course, I don't know, for personal reasons or whatever, the legislators in the National Assembly are sitting on it. You know, they can't pass that law where law enforcement will be brought down all the way to the grassroots. Our ungoverned spaces, those are where you don't have law enforcement agents, is occupied by bandits. And these bandits, some of them are from foreign countries. Our borders are so porous, you know. And it is not just the Murtala Mohammed or Port Harcourt or Kano Airport or Abuja. The real borders where people are actually walking across. And some of these bandits are from neighboring countries that are walking in to cause the problem. So you find out that we are in the middle of a complicated security situation in Nigeria.
Okay, so, but I want to take you back to something that you said. You said that the police officers or security personnel are doing enough. So when you say they're doing enough, what exactly are they doing?
I'll tell you. Now, you know, when somebody, I remember when I was working with one of the oil companies in Nigeria, in the Niger Delta, one of our vice presidents arrived. He came to visit, and I was driving with him in the same car. And he saw that some of the cars on the road are very, very old. And that is something that is common in Nigeria. He said, which kind of mechanics do you have? He said, well, some of them are not, they didn't even go to school. But if you take your car to them, they'll work on it for you and it will be on the road. And he said, fantastic. He wanted me to take him to one of the mechanic workshops so that he can at least shake hands with one of the mechanics because they are doing a fantastic job. Here in the United States or in some other countries, what is happening is that even if you have a dent, they remove that dent and put another one, you know, but our mechanics are so good. And that's the same problem we're having with security agencies. They are thinly spread, they are not enough, but they are trying to, make some semblance of security to exist in the country, whereby at least there are thieves and criminals running amok all over the place, but deep down inside of them, I know when I was in the service, sometimes when we arrest some armed robbers or some people, they say they pray. They actually pray before they go and rob because they are scared of who? The police or the DSS, So we are given a semblance of security in the country, but at the same time, the government is not helping issues. Because if we are not many, why don't you just go ahead and recruit people? There is unemployment. A lot of graduates would like to, take up jobs in the security agencies. But I don't think that is happening. And why is it happening? They'll tell you, there will be not enough money. Even the state police thing, some states will not be able to, take care of the state police because they don't have money. But the governor always have money. There is no governor in Nigeria that have said that, my salary has not been paid for 2 months. Besides, all governors collect what they call security votes. It runs into billions. And where are those monies? So I think the trust deficit between the Nigerian citizens and the politicians have to be bridged so that we can get move forward.
But how do you explain a case, the killings in Benue State, 200 people or more than 200 people being killed? The question I'd like to ask, because you have been at the heart of this, so maybe you probably would have you have an answer or you understand it. Where is the police, or where was the police in all of this?
Okay.
200 people being killed.
Yes.
In a state. I'm sure that there would be the Navy. There will be. Even though I know their responsibilities are quite different, but where is the police in all of this that 200 persons were killed?
You are right. The Navy, the police should be there, but the Navy is for naval area, not for Benue State, okay? But on a serious note, now, you find out, I've told you how very thinly spread the security agencies are, especially the police. I remember very well, some years back, Adamawa State, the Boko Haram came in there and took over 11 local governments and were hoisting their flags. The police people are far away because like I told you earlier, some local governments don't have police. They don't. And because they don't have police, these people are moving around in the ungoverned spaces. And these ungoverned spaces are there. Some of them are so far away in the hinterland. Before you can get police presence to come, sometimes it takes 10 hours, 5 hours to get there. So if there is an attack and you call the police, that's if you have a communication system. Remember, most of these people are local farmers. Some of them don't have even a cell phone. So who is calling the police? Okay, let's say that, the police is there. The DPO might have about 3 or 4 people there, okay? You have 3 or 4 policemen there, and then you have bandits, 200 of them are coming on motorcycles. What do you think those policemen should do? Engage them or run away? Or call their office that will respond in about, 3, 4, 5 hours? So the best thing, like we have always advocated, is that there should be state police. And if we have state police should be able to, because they will cover the whole area. If we have a DPO for a particular local government, he should be well equipped with men, equipment, and he should occupy every inch of that state. And that's why we want state police. But some people are even asking for state police because they feel that, oh, give us state police so that now we can deal with our political opponents. You understand? So you see, there is a juxtaposition of what is supposed to be. Many people don't understand why they're in government. Many people think that it is just to be called, oh, chairman, or to make himself very, very rich by stealing, etc.
But how then do we make sense of the fact, because just as you're saying that, a country of over 200 million people plus or thereabout, we don't even have up to 500 police officers. And my head has been, running the maths and just trying to calculate all of that.
Do the maths, yeah, do the maths.
But again, we also see that whenever there's a protest in any parts of the country, we see the presence of police officers, with different attires, some that you haven't seen, you're just wondering. We have all of these forces with all of the armory and, just display all over the place. Maybe if there's a protest mostly you find that in Abuja. Sometimes you also find that in Lagos and other parts of the country. So is it really okay for us to continue to to say that we are outnumbered or we don't have enough police officers to police the various parts of the country?
Thank you for that question, Mercy. I'll tell you one thing. We have misplaced our priorities, and that's what we've done in the country. We've misplaced our priorities. We have a country of about an estimated 230 million people, okay? And, excuse me, we have about 500,000 police officers. Out of these 500,000 police officers, we have about 150,000 mopols. And these mopols, where are they? Mopols are supposed to be riot police. That when they first came out, that's what they called them, riot police. The idea was got from Pakistan, and they are a separate unit of police, specially trained to deal with rioting. And their uniform is different. They are so trained in such a way that when they first came, they can engage the military, the army, and sometimes they conquer. So these people, where are they now? They are not doing riot control. During protest, you see some of them. The rest of them are attached to big men in Nigeria. Even Yahoo boys who have money. They are like guns for hire. They are busy. And those people are paying them, so they don't care. Every inspector general that comes will say, oh, we're withdrawing them. After 1, 2, 3 months, everybody goes and settle themselves, and then they are back to where they are. Excuse me. So you find out that this is happening, and they are so thinly spread. And you look in the Benue situation where you don't see policemen because they are not available. And of course, that is the problem. That's the quagmire where we find ourselves. I've forgotten your last part of the question that you asked, if you can remind me.
Okay, so we'd have to take a quick break. I'm being told that we have to go on that break. Dennis, when we return, I will bring you up to speed with the other parts of the question. And then again, we'll just also look at the fact that there's several quarters that are calling for self-defense with the fact that it's constitutionally guaranteed. Let's take this break. We'll be right back. Please stay with us.
Life is made up of moments, some that fill us with joy, others that test our strength. Welcome to Heartlines. This is our space to explore the highs and lows of human connection, the love, the heartbreak, and resilience that shapes our life. From relationships to friendships, parenting to partnerships, and so much more. Every week, we share stories and conversations that define us, navigating love, separations, the struggles of parenting, dealing with anxiety and managing the pressures and stress of life. Real conversations that bring us closer, helping us heal, grow, and connect. So join me Mondays through Fridays at 10 p.m. for Heartlines, the show where we connect hearts, have real conversations with real people, one story at a time.
Now, thank you so much for staying tuned. If you just tuned in, we are discussing the issue of the rising insecurity and the growing efforts and demands by citizens for their safety. There's a case that, definitely I'll bring you up to speak with that one, and would also hear the thoughts of Dennis Amachree, who's also here with us. But we'd like to hear what you have to say about this particular issue, insecurity. I mean, if you have also been, you're in any parts of the country, whether the Northeast and the North Central, Benway, wherever it is that you're experiencing this insecurity, it's fine to join the conversation. Let's hear your thoughts. All you need to do is send us an SMS via WhatsApp, 081-8038 and 46 and 63. 081-8038 46 and 63. SMS or WhatsApp to that number. The phone lines are also open. It means that you can call in on the show as well. I'd like to hear your thoughts. 070-2500-77 and 49 or 070-1424 and 24 and 20. Let's hear what you have to say. Mr. Dennis Amachree, once again, thank you so much for making our time to be with us tonight and for speaking with us and trying to help us understand what's going on with the increase of insecurity in our country.
Thank you.
Well, so for the want of time, we'll just go to the other parts of the conversation. There's been a growing call. A lot of people are asking that maybe it's time for people to begin to, pick up arms, defend themselves. Self-defense is a core. And legal practitioners have also defended this call, saying that it is guaranteed, it's a guaranteed right in the Constitution, which is protected by Section 33 of the 1999 Constitution. First off, I'd like to share your thoughts. What do you think about self-defense? Do you think that, it has come to a time, especially those in Benway, this trouble spots, that they should probably just, defend themselves against attacks?
Yes, I am all for it. I'm all for it. In fact, if you remember very well, some weeks back, the Director General of the DSS came out to say this, that communities should defend themselves, or vigilantes must defend themselves. In fact, they defend their communities, and they should be armed. They should be armed. There is nothing wrong with arming anybody. I think it is still that same colonial mentality where we have police who say, oh, don't arm anybody, return your gun, will not give you this thing, will not give you license, But bearing arms is the fundamental constitutional responsibility or right of all citizens. You are meant to defend yourself. Now, when we come to arming vigilantes or stuff like that, what we are also saying, which the Director General of the DSS was saying, is that, look, arm them, but note who they are, train them. You have to train them, arm them, so that they will be the first line of defense if there is an attack. Before you can go and start calling police that is far, far away, you know, there are people who can just defend them. We know if there are, sometimes I remember in Lagos, in some years back, when armed robbers want to come to a particular street, they will write to them and say, we are coming. All of you get ready and, donate some money for us, or we are coming. And if they don't get the money, they will come. And the reason why they are coming is because they know that the citizens are not armed. Like I told you, they pray before they go for all these things. If they know that they will not return, then most of them will think again. So let's arm our people, train them, because if you're not trained with firearms, you can actually shoot yourself. I was trained in firearms. I've carried it for so many, many years, but at the same time, we know for people who mishandle firearms, sometimes they can shoot themselves. We've seen mopals shoot each other, and stuff like that. But if you are well trained and you are carrying those arms, you know how to control it. So, yes, I'm for it.
081-8038-4663, 081-8038-4663. That's the number to send your messages to, SMS or WhatsApp to that number. And the number to call is 070-250-0774 and 9 or 070-1424 and 24 and 20. Let's hear your thoughts or what you have to say. But if that's the case, then what do you make of the recent, I think the judgment was just between yesterday and today, where Sunday, Jackson has been sentenced to death for self-defense against a killer herdsman.
Who is Jackson? I'm sorry, I'm not familiar with that.
So well, I thought that you actually have an idea. Now, Sunday Jackson, it's a case, it's a court hearing. I mean, there was a judgment that was delivered today. I'm not very sure, but it's between today or within this week, where certain Sunday Jackson has been sentenced to death for defending himself. He defended himself against a herdsman, a killer, someone who came to attack him, and he attacked the person, and the person was killed. Now, the courts have actually ruled, the interpretation of the court seemed not to protect, Sunday, who was also defending himself. So where do we even go from this point?
Yeah, I don't know the details, but I can tell you one thing right now. Maybe he's having an illegal firearms. That's illegal. That's why I said that those arms must be registered and you must be trained. Now, if you are carrying an illegal firearms, that's going to be a problem. And I know maybe most of the security agencies are worried about this because there are about 80 million illegal small arms and light weapons in West Africa. Out of that, about 5 million are in Nigeria in the hands of, non-state actors. Okay? So, illegal firearms, it's all over the place. Many people have arms in Nigeria. But the problem is, you can defend yourself, but if you are carrying it illegally, even in the United States, people are allowed to carry arms. Farmers, because you'll be driving miles and miles, you see one house. You drive another miles and miles, you see another house again. I asked a friend, I said, these people, suppose they attack, what happens? He said, don't even try it because they are fully armed, You must buy your arms to defend yourself, but it must be registered. The security police must register that firearms. They will know that you are the one carrying it. And then, of course, you show a license of training. You must be trained on how to use it.
But,
so I don't know the details.
But what if it's a case where, I mean, for instance, now we use Benue State as a case study, and
Yes.
the attack has been actually on the farming community. So let's say
Yes.
a case where it has to be a machete. What then happens? Do you have to register a machete? And all
No,
that?
you don't. You don't, because you see, a machete is used not as a firearm. It's not a firearm, okay? And if somebody, look, if you go to Cross River, every adult has a machete under his bed. Every adult. So if you go and attack a Calabar man in his house, you stand the risk of being cut to pieces, and that is it's legal. It's allowed, because you don't move into somebody's house to go and attack the person, okay? But where the government is concerned is firearms, arms and bullets, pistol and guns. That's where the rules apply.
Well, as we begin to coast this conversation down, what exactly would you say? Because first off, the responsibility lies on the ruling class, that's the government. So where do we take it up from? What would it be for, those who are calling the shots, the lawmakers, the governors? What exactly do we need to, do?
I want to say something which is very, very pertinent in the Nigerian society, and that is that if we call ourselves a democratic country, then we must be democratic in behavior. Because, you see, many people believe that democracy, election is the only aspect of democracy that we know. So we wait for 4 years. It's election time. The politician comes, he give you 10,000 or 5,000, a loaf of bread or rice, and you eat and you vote for him. Vote for me, vote for me. You vote for him, and then you go away. He goes away. When he has won, you won't see him again. Sometimes I wonder, you go, you see very bad roads, very, very bad roads. And sometimes you will see very ghetto-ish areas. All these areas have a local government chairman, and he must have campaigned. And people actually voted for him, because many people believe that is the time of democracy, practicing their democracy. In fact, that is the only thing we know. But when you are democratically aware, there are many things you can do. All these legislators, governors, councillors who are there, if they are not doing their job, the citizen has a right to recall them, bring them back. My friend, you are not doing what we asked you to do. Come back. We don't want you there again. We'll send somebody else there. That's democracy. The power of recall. We don't practice it in Nigeria. And when a politician wins and goes, he thinks he's God. A governor will do a 3 kilometers road, and then people will come and be beating drums and singing, "Thank you, our governor. God will bless you." For where? It's not his money. It's not his money. After all, he's supposed to be our servant. That is democracy. But I don't think we are practicing democracy here. So you find out that the citizens don't have a voice, and they cannot say anything. The politicians believe they are kings. In fact, right now in the United States, there is a bill that is going to the Congress, the No Kings Act, because the recent president they have is trying to behave like a king. And, there are demonstrations here where there's a No Kings Act. Our constitution does not permit kings. If you want to do something, you have to go to the Congress and take permission. In our society, I don't think the president can do anything and nobody is going to, the Congress, they call them rubber stamp, so they can't challenge him, But these checks and balances is what makes democracy what it is.
I couldn't agree more with your thoughts, especially as a student of political science. So I totally, understand where you're coming from. But, sometimes it can be really tiring. We continue to have this conversation every annual Eke Market Day. We just continue to go in circles. And you and I would talk about these things. And then again, there's no action. There's no willpower. You don't see people who are committed to protecting lives and property, ensuring that the lives and property of the people shall be paramount, shall be number one. The welfare of the people shall be a concern. Because it's really saddening, honestly, and it leaves me speechless, and it feels like we're just going through that cycle over and over again, and we'll just continue to just come here. But of course, the media would always do what they have to do. We'll have to talk about what we have to talk about because we're committed to this cause. But whilst you were talking, we saw a case of state of emergency that was declared in Rivers State. And we understand, if you look at the Constitution, you want to ask yourself, at what point should a state of emergency be declared? When there's a threat and what have you? Some people would say that, what happened in Rivers State wasn't even, there was no threat as you could say, as compared to what is going on in Benue State. So don't you think that a state of emergency should have been declared, or should be declared, or should have been declared in Benue State?
Okay, yes, we'll talk about the Benue State, but before I go there, your mitigating factors, you were talking about mitigating factors, and the basic thing, how do we change it? How do we stop going round and round in circles, And the mitigating factor is easily education of the people. People must be educated. If they're educated, they know their rights. But if they're not educated, as long as the rural farmer or the uneducated vulcanizer, he thinks that the politician is God. When he comes, everybody go and bow down for him, and stuff like that. He gives them 10,000 naira or 1,000 naira, and they're happy, not knowing that this guy is supposed to be a servant. And you talked about the media. The media itself is supposed to educate. That's one part of the thing that I think the media is also forgetting. Because you're supposed to educate, you're supposed to entertain, you're supposed to inform. So if you're informing, you are entertaining, you must also educate. Many people don't know their rights. So how do you make them to know their rights? You design programs that will tell people, what is democracy, what is your democratic right besides voting, they should know all this stuff, okay? Then you've talked about, what is the second part you said you were asking? I'm sorry, I lost in thought.
Oh, so I said, what exactly are we supposed to do? We keep going in circles every other time.
The second part, you said something. Okay, both of us are lost in thought.
State of emergency.
Very good, very good. That's it. Now, when you talk about the state of emergency, it's unconstitutional. It's very unconstitutional. The president knows, people are telling him, even some vocal legislators have told him that it is unconstitutional. Because when you come to think about it, there is no, probable cause to declare state of emergency. In Rivers State, there was no violence. There was no situation out of hand, But we have got 200 people killed, Nigerian citizens, in Benue State by unknown gunmen. In fact, I am so thankful to the DSS and the police that have gone out and arrested. They've arrested a lot of them, you know, yeah, day before yesterday and yesterday, you know. So at least they are doing something. And I will, you know, I will thank the president for that, for giving them the order to arrest them and prosecute them, of course, so that Nigerians will know that, yes, these are the people causing the problem. Whoever big man is sending them to come and cause this problem, you know, we will see the person come out and try to bail them. You know, so yes, state of emergency in Rivers State is an aberration, and it's not supposed to be. It's unconstitutional. The place that we will need a state of emergency is in Benue, but all the same, this is a democratic government, democratic, calling the military to come in is against the constitution. Then you're asking for a coup. You're calling the military to come in. That's a coup. So like I told you earlier, internal security, police and DSS. And if they are not well equipped and you don't have enough manpower, recruit more people, train them, and let them do their job inside the country.
Well, it has been an amazing conversation with you, Dennis Amachree, but we have to go. Every good thing has also have a time where it comes to an end. Thank you so much. It's been very insightful, and we look forward to having more of this conversation as we proceed.
Thank you for having me.
All right, then have a good night, rest, or we're in different time zone. I'm not sure what time it is over there now. But before I go, and to you who's also tuned in, thank you so much as well. It's been great to have you from 8 o'clock up until this moment. But before we go, I'd like to ask that you subscribe to our YouTube channel at Official Upgrade TV. You can interact with us further, drop a comment, and most importantly, follow us on all of our social media platforms and engage. Remember to like, share, and comment, and invite your friends and family to watch, especially those who didn't watch whilst we're here. And if you miss our quote for today, this is what it says. Our administration pledged to tackle economic instability, improve security nationwide, reduce corruption, reform governance, and lift our people out of poverty. This is according to the President of the Federal Republic of Nigeria, President Bola Ahmed Tinubu. Well, I'll see you tomorrow, all things being equal. Enjoy the rest of your evening and have a good night rest. My name is Mercy Ebokpo.
Nigeria, by extension Africa, battles a growing youthful population, and with little or no meaningful engagement, leaves a ticking time bomb on our hands. We are a blessed continent with great wealth, both in people and material. Our focus on ways remains driving conversations that affects us all. Topics in the news, social concerns, politics, leadership, governance, empowerment, resource management, conflict management, finance, SME sustainability, technological innovation, food security, health, education, brain drain, our well-being, citizenship, and much more. Our goal is to continuously drive these conversations, keep them burning at the table to effect a positive change, both for our nation and continent. Ways, what are you saying, has a secret ingredient that completes the conversation every single episode, and that ingredient is you. Our past conversations shaped our yesterday. To shape our tomorrow, we must keep talking. So, I want to hear you. Be a part of our live conversations Mondays through Fridays. And let's all have our say.